Hey guys, welcome back to the Anthem TryHackMe walkthrough. Let's begin this Windows mission, guys. So we have the task 1, the website analysis. In this case, I connected this mission using OpenVPN. You can either connect to OpenVPN or directly launch the attack box based on your preference. So after that, after starting this mission, you have to wait a minute and you will be able to get the IP address. In this case, we can see our first task is to run nmap and check what ports are open. Before that, we have something to read. Let's first run nmap and come back to this. That is pretty good. So when I enter nmap space IP address, which will pretty much gives me that host seems down. So maybe some firewall is blocking because we are scanning the Windows mission. So we have to use -pn don't ping scan and -sv for getting the version related information. So let it run. In the meantime, let's read this. So this is basically the task. You have to pay attention to details and finding the keys to the castle. This room is basically designed for beginners. However, everyone is welcome. In this room, you don't need to brute force any login page. So this is something to note. You don't have to perform any kind of brute force attacks in this room. So you have to use your preferred browser and remote desktop. So there is RDP in this room. So yeah, you are also going to learn how you can connect to RDP and some other things in this room. So it will take about 5 minutes to get everything done. So you have to wait at least 5 minutes if you are not getting any results. So our first task is to run nmap and check what ports are open. So we just run nmap and got an error, and we were able to solve that using by specifying the -pn, right? Don't ping scan, and we were able to get the service version by specifying the -sv. We were able to get the result. We were able to see that there are 2 ports open currently. So port 80 and port 3389. Port 80 is HTTP and port 3389 is RDP, remote desktop protocol, right? So in this case, it's MSWBT server. Whatever it is, it's basically RDP. Okay, so we just perform that and we can just click check. After that, what port is for the web server? For the web server, as I mentioned, port 80 is for the web server, and as you can see, what port is for remote desktop service? So 3389, right? So this is the remote desktop service RDP. So after that, we have what is a possible password in one of the pages web crawlers check for. So when I view the hint, it is saying fill in the gap. .txt is the file. So we have a web server running on the port 80, right? So we can just access that web server by copying the IP address in the browser. It's loading. So it is taking time. So in the meantime, if a web server is running there, you have to find some hidden directories. In this case, we have to find a possible password in one of the pages web crawlers check for. So basically, web crawlers usually checks for the robots.txt page. So in this case, we can see we have this web page. And let me perform the gobuster scan and let me come back. So gobuster dir for directory, -u for the URL, -w for the word list. In this case, user share and the word list and the dib and common.txt. Let it run. Let me come here and let's search for the page which is robots.txt is where the web crawlers usually look for. So here you can see we have some directories not to crawl. Other than that, we have something like Umbraco is the best. So that something seems to be suspicious, and that may be the possible password that they are asking for. So what CMS is the website using? So we can see Umbraco is something doesn't seems familiar. So basically, I think it's the CMS that is running here. So let's search for that online. What it is. You can see that Umbraco is basically a CMS. So in this case, it's Umbraco CMS and it is loading. I don't know how to spell that properly. If I'm spelled wrong, then forgive me, you guys. So anyways, we were able to see this is the login page of this particular CMS, and the CMS name is Umbraco. Let me type that correctly. That's it. So what is the domain of the website? So in this case, we can see this is a CMS. So other than that, we can just access the base page, which is the IP address only. So here you can see the domain anthem.com. So basically domain means, some people say said me, the beginner said me that what is a domain name. So for example, domain name, you have to be you have to know a little about domain name. So domain name is something like google.com, flipkart.com, amazon.com. These are some of the domain names. So in this case we have anthem.com. Okay, so that's something to you have to know as a beginner. So what is the name of the administrator? We have some hint. So consult the oracle. That's saying that consult the oracle, your favorite search engine. So that means you have to use search engines for finding this. So from this page, what we can see, we have the categories option. There is nothing there. We have the tags option. There is nothing there. Other than that, we have the base domain anthem.com. So here we have some articles to read. And here you can see, hi, fellow readers. We are currently hiring. We are looking for young talent to join a good cause and keep this community alive. If you have any interest in being part of the movement, send me your CV at jd@anthem.com. So the author is Jane Doe. So this is the author. The email address of the author is jd@anthem.com. Jane Doe, JD. I think that's the first letters of the name. So yeah, other than that, we have another article, a cheers to our IT department. So this is again, so during our hard times, our beloved admin, so we have to find its username, managed to save our business by redesigning the entire website. So as we all round here knows how much I love writing poems, I decided to write one about him. So this is a poem written for the admin. So born on Monday, christened on Tuesday, married on Wednesday, to kill on Thursday, grievous on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That was the end. So the author here is James Orchard Halliwell, and he written this poem for the admin. We have to find the admin based on the hints that is available here. In you have to use your favorite search engine. My favorite search engine is Google. So I searched this on Google, and we can see this is a traditional English nursery rhyme of Solomon Grundy. So this is basically for the Solomon Grundy. So we can see based on the answer format, this seems to be Solomon Grundy, and that was correct. So can we find the email address of the administrator? So here we also have a hint. There is another email address on the website that should help us figuring out the email pattern used by the administrator. So we can see the another email address that we visited before. Like based on the author Jane Doe, the email address is jd@anthem.com. But in this case, we have the admin name Solomon Grundy. So the email address may be sg, right? sg@anthem.com, right? Based on what we were able to get the email address, right? So Jane Doe, jd@anthem.com. So Solomon Grundy, so it's sg@anthem.com. Right, so that's cool, right? So you have to think carefully, guys. You have to think, you have to read, you have to understand the concepts, or else you get stuck. Okay, we are moving to the task 2, spot the flags. Our beloved admin left some flags behind that we require to gather before we proceed to the next task. And them are hiring. What is the flag 1? We have a hint for finding the flag 1. Have we inspected the pages yet? So this is our pages. Okay, the base page. So we have to inspect the page, and according to the flag formats, it usually starts with the THM, because TryHackMe flags usually start with THM. So what we can do here by inspecting, you can search for THM. Oh god, you were able to get flags called THM git guard. Okay, let me copy that correctly. but this is not they're asking for, but this seems to be the flag of second one. Okay, so search for it. So we have to find the first flag also. So let's enter THM again and again. There is only one THM there. Other than that, there is nothing there. So let's view the page source. Here is it. So let's search for THM here. Here also nothing there. So let's move to the pages like read this article, then inspect, then search for THM. And now we have something called THM lol uses meta. So 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 this, yeah, we were able to get the flag 1. So what is the flag 3? So profile, you have to look for the profile. So where is the profile? Okay, maybe they are asking for this profile. Yes, here it is. We have the flag in the profile of Jane Doe. So what is the flag for? Flag 4. Have we inspected all the pages yet? You have to inspect all the pages. So let's start with the inspect and search for THM. Here we have the THM git good and lol who D15. So this is something that we answered before, right? So okay, other than that, there is nothing here. Let's move back and search that here. Here we have some who uses meta. So this is also we answered. So other than that, there is nothing here. So we can move to the tags and search for THM. In the tags, this is it. So this is what we answered before. In the categories, we can see this is it. This is we answered before. Other than that, what other page we have? This page. So here also the same. So other than that, what are the pages that we have? So we move to the last page. So again, another meta. Here it is. Here you can see it's basically another meta. In this page, we were able to get that particular flag, right? So that's pretty cool, right? So the another meta is here. That's it. So now we are at the task 3, the final stage. Let's get into the box using the intel we gathered. Let me check if mic is working. Okay, so as we gathered a lot of intelligence, maybe some informations, let's figure out the username and password to log into the box. The box is not on a domain. So we have to log into the box and it is not a domain. So basically that means that this is a domain. So this is not the domain is what they're saying. So your username and the password. So anyways, this is not they're asking for, but still I think we can just log in there here. So let me move to the task 1 where we find some informations. Like we have the password, right? Use that here. And we have the username, Solomon Grundy. Use that here. Okay, basically your username is usually your email, so you have to enter the email there. That's it. Now it seems to be loading. So let's check if we can log into this particular CMS. Yes, guys, we were able to log into this CMS, which will contain content, media, settings, developer, users, right? But upon looking here, we could not find anything suspicious. So what they are asking for us is we have to figure out the username and password to log into the box. The box is not on a domain name. So they are asking for, so there is a lot of other hidden directories, but this is something that is not useful, I think. So they're asking for RDP. 3389. So that is not a domain name, right? So let's try to log in using RDP by using xfree rdp/u for the username. So in this case, we have the username called Solomon, right? Solomon Grundy. So usually username doesn't have spaces. Okay. By specifying the /p, we have to specify the password, which we know, right? And /v for the host, which is our IP address, target IP address. That's it. So it is asking for certificate. Yes, trust the certificate, but we get an error. So everything seems to be good. This is the way, but we get an error. Maybe a username or password is something wrong. So in this case, what they are saying is from the task 3, we have to figure out the username and password to log into this box. So I think we don't have to figure out the password because password is this one is what we get. But I think there is something went wrong with the username because if your name is Solomon Grundy, have you put your username as Solomon Grundy everywhere? Maybe you will put your username as Solomon only, right? But it's still filed. So what are the other things that you put? We have to figure out the particular username. So how do you put your username, like a nickname or something like that in your username? So you can just give Solomon Grundy or Grundy, but it's still filed. So this seems to be professional because they are in a office. They are not your personal profile. This is someone. This is not someone else a personal thing. So this is somewhat official, right? So if your name is Solomon Grundy, so in by thinking like you are setting up your username in an office, what you will say? Solomon or Grundy or what others? Like you don't set some other names because you're in office, right? So you probably said Solomon or Grundy, but that's not working in this case. You may said something called SG for Solomon Grundy. Maybe. Let's try. Guys, it worked. It's cool, right? So you have to think the way of hackers, right? So that's the main thing that you need to think like an hacker so that you will be able to solve the challenges. I don't say that this is a room for the beginners because according to the descriptions on TryHackMe, it is for beginners, but I don't think that it is really for beginners. This is kind of intermediate peoples, I think. So anyways, you have to think like a hacker to get into this, guys. Okay, anyways, we have a user text here, and here is our user text, and here is the user flag. So this is it. So we gain initial access to the machine and we were able to get the contents of the users.txt. Can we spot the admin password? And we have a hint, it is hidden. So admin password is hidden. We have to spot that out. So we have the recycle bin. Okay, in the recycle bin, there is nothing. In the desktop, there is only user. So let me click view and click hidden items. And there is nothing hidden here. In the downloads, nothing there. In the documents, we have the default. This is not what they are asking for. This is only an RDP. So 0 KB. In the pictures, nothing there. So by moving to the C drive, we have an hidden thing called backup because when I turn this off, there is nothing right. So the thing according to the hint, it is hidden. So program that is usually hidden in Windows, but backup is suspicious. So we have something called restore, and you can see it's basically restore.txt is there, and you don't have permission to open this file. See the owner of the file or an administrator to obtain permission. We have to become admin, right? So how you can view this hidden backup folder inside that the restore file? We can do things like going to the properties In the properties, you will be able to see some information like in the security, you can see the permissions. What about thinking of changing the permissions? Like here you don't have any kind of permissions for this particular file. You can just move to the advanced, and we have some permissions to add, but unfortunately there is nothing that we can add here. We can just click the change option to change the ownership, but we don't know the admin password, right? Clicking cancel. What about moving to advanced? So this is what we move, right? So what about moving to edit? So here in the edit, you can see to change permissions, click edit. So we're going to change the permissions. Now we can just try to give permission as allow, but unfortunately we can't give that. So you can just click add option. In the add option, you can see something like this. I'm just moving to the advanced. In the advanced, I was able to see something like this. Clicking the find now, you can see some of the usernames like administrator and some of the users. So what user are we? Like we are SG, right? Solomon Grundy. So you have to search us here. You can see SG is here, and I'm just clicking OK. So it was added there. So let me click OK. So now we have permission to change this. I'm just clicking full control. By clicking here, I do have full control right now. After that, clicking apply and clicking OK and clicking OK. Now, oh guys, it worked. So this is how you can change the permissions, guys. This is so cool, right? Maybe in most cases, this is something in this is a new knowledge for a lot of people, guys. Yes, if this is a new knowledge for you, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and don't forget to like this video, guys. So this will be much appreciating for me, and don't forget to share our channel to your friends. Okay, so we were able to get that. So escalate your privileges to root. What is the contents of the root? So admin password is basically means we have the administrator password. That is, we in Linux we say we have to move to the root user, but in Windows we say we have to move to the we have to become an admin user. So admin is basically root or administrator in Windows. So we have to move to the administrator's desktop, I think, to find the flag. Now we have the password, right? So I don't think we can copy and paste that out here. So let's in X3 RDP, I don't know how to enable the copy and paste. I think it's not working. So anyways, let's move on to the users. We have the administrator. We don't have permission, and I don't be able to paste that. So you have to type that manually. It's basically change me baby one more time. That's it. You have to type manually to get it there, but you can use as an alternative. You can use Remina to connect to RDP. So that's something that you should know. So you can just install Remina. This is the tool. You can just give your IP address here. Once you give the IP address, and you will be able to give domain and username and password. Once you give all those things, you will be able to get an RDP session, guys. So don't worry about it. You can just use this tool also. Okay. So anyways, we were able to get here, and we are moving to the desktop. Here we have the root. We were able to get the flag. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you will be able to get an understanding of what it is. Oh my God. It's gone, guys. It's gone. It's really gone. I'm not able to paste that out here. So I just closed accidentally. So let's use Ramina. So in this case, so that you also know what it is. So how you can use that. Let me show you that. Connecting using Ramina. So the username is SG, and the password is something that we were able to get from here. Okay. Yeah, you don't have to specify the domain in this case. Okay, now we have to move to the admin. So it will be in this PC C users administrator. Yeah, you don't have to enter the password again. So here you have the desktop, and now it worked. So let me check before that. Let me check if I am able to copy. For example, I'm just copying this. Let me check if I am able to copy that here. Yeah, copy and paste is working in Remina. Right. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, guys.